In today's video, I am going to be breaking down Johnny Juzang and how he shoots the basketball. He is one of the better shooters in the draft, in my opinion, because he's able to create a shot for himself. So let's get down and let's check out Johnny Juzang. He's also a very good off-ball shooter as well. Let's get down, let's check him out. Okay, so the first clip that I always really like to look at is the side angle. And of course, what we get to see here is his shoulders above his knees and above his toes. They're actually not. They're actually slightly behind his knees and behind his toes, which is okay. However, he may get more power on his shot if he was to lean more forward, but it can also slow down your shot. And here we can see that he does have the distance. NBA range is roughly around there anyways, so he has the range to make it in the NBA. From there, we can also see that he is slightly tilted away from the basketball net, and the reason why that's important is it allows him to get his shoulder and elbow in line with the basketball net. This is a very, very important factor right here, because basically your shoulder and your elbow is what helps you aim. That is the major part behind a shot. We can also see that on this right leg, the kick down leg essentially, what we're seeing is that he is up on his heels because we can see a slight shadow. However, on his left foot, we can see that his heel is on the ground. He may actually be a bit quicker if he gets up onto his toes. However, I'm not too worried about that. He has not been blocked very often. So overall, he's a good shooter anyways. Something else I really want you to really focus on is his ability to look at the defense, see what the defense is giving him, see that that hedger is not popping out on him and staying back, and that his man is going underneath the screen. He then, as soon as he notices that, looks at the rim, and you always want to look at where you're shooting, because that's going to allow you to shoot, of course, at a higher percentage. Does he have a dip? No, he doesn't. He gathers that ball at his waist and he brings it straight up into his set point. And now I wouldn't classify this as a two-motion shot. In my opinion, this is a one-motion. We do see him freeze it for like a millisecond at his forehead height. However, in my opinion, that's a one-motion shot, and which is to the right side of his forehead, which will allow that ball to be over top of his shoulder, upper arm, or elbow. And of course, we see it over top of his shoulder, and that will allow him to have a straight shot. What I like to call this is the shooting triangle. Your shoulder is in line with your elbow, which then dictates if it goes right or left, and then your ball is above your upper arm or your shoulder or your elbow, which would then allow you to have an even greater chance of having a straight shot. When he does go to release that ball, we can see that he has no thumb flick and that his his elbow is above his forehead or at forehead height. That is actually very important, and he locks his elbow after he releases the ball. As soon as he releases the ball, he goes to a lock and he has a soft release. What does this tell us? Well, the lock allows him to have a consistent shot, and that soft release allows him to have a lot of arc on that shot. If he was to have a hard release, which means that his hands go straight, more like a Michael Jordan style shot, he would have a lot of backspin on that ball and less arc. With a soft release, he'll have more arc, which will allow him to have a greater chance of that ball going in. He then holds his arm up for a second and then releases. One thing that I do notice as well is that he jumps forward about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 feet. What does that tell us? Well, by jumping forward, you're now putting momentum on that ball forward. If you jump a different distance every time, you're going to have to adjust your strength. If you jump the exact same distance every time, then you do not have to adjust your strength. Now, what we do see is that after he releases the ball, that's when he starts to drift forward. That's okay. However, if he's jumping forward during his shot, that's when you start having issues. But if his body is like a pendulum and it swings forward with his feet, that's totally okay. Sometimes you can get more strength on your shot by doing that. Now, he's also very good at using pin down screens for his shot. Now, here we can see on this shot that he lands on both feet at the same time. However, his right foot, and he's a right-handed shooter, his right foot is behind the left foot. Now, what does he do? we would want to see him actually, before he releases that ball, start kicking his right leg forward so that his right side of his body is in line with the basketball net. And that's what we see. He eventually gets tilted slightly away from the rim, which at that point he releases that ball and makes that shot. This is actually a very good shot. We can also see from other shots like this one where he does a step back, he is still on his toes, which is very good. Now, when he goes for the step back, he tends to bring the ball up the middle of his body. However, he gets into his shooting triangle before he releases that ball, and he's able to release that ball and, of course, make that shot. Now, what we do notice is when he does the step back, his body is slightly angled towards the right side. What does that mean? Well, he's really using more of his right leg to get up into the shot, but as soon as he gets up into the air, he is pretty well going straight up and down, which is a very good shot. I really do like his release. Nice and forward, nice forward flick. It's a very nice shot. I hope that this video helps you become a better shooter yourself and, of course, understand Johnny Juzang and how he shoots the ball as well. Make sure to go check out all of the equipment that I use down in the description below, and I will see you guys in my next video.